We are back with another episode of the Farmcast after a little hiatus. But football season is back, which means we're back and we're here to kind of share some, maybe some predictions. You know, we are great at those. Go back to any one of our old videos. We are fantastic at predictions. So we're going to tell you how the NFL season is going to wrap up.
I mean, listen, I don't think if you go back like video by video, which you should do and watch every single one of our videos and comb through with a fine-tooth comb and see if you can find any wrong predictions, I dare you. That's my personal bet. I don't think we've ever been wrong. So
do it. Anyone out there?
One thing before we get into the show here is from this point on. We took a hiatus. You know, we just needed to rejuvenate. But we're gonna be doing 2 weeks a show or 2 shows a week.
2 weeks,
maybe 2 weeks a show too. Yeah, you know. Maybe if we have to take another hiatus, maybe that's how it'll go. But yeah, I'm very excited to get back into it. I feel fresh. I feel ready to go.
Got the batteries recharged.
Especially with some football. Literally tonight, we got a game right away. And it's a fine one. I feel like this game's gonna suck. I don't think this game's gonna be good.
It has the highest spread of the entire slate, I think, and obviously we're talking about Cowboys.
8.5's the biggest spread.
It's got up to 9 in some places too.
Oh really? Shit.
Yeah, I ended up betting this game. I got in at 7.5 on the Buccaneers side, and I'll be honest, I don't see a way this game is like even competitive. You have Zach Martin out with COVID, so you have Dak, who is going to be rusty as hell. I really don't see
maybe.
A world. True. I think it's fair to assume that he's probably pretty rusty. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a game that's going to be like very competitive in the fact. Like, just they match up so well to the Cowboys. Like, the Buccaneers' biggest strength, run defense. It's really going to shut down, what Zeke and the boys are trying to do. I don't know. I don't have a great feeling about this one.
I also bet this game, but I took the Cowboys to cover.
Okay.
The Buccaneers, it wouldn't surprise me if they just kind of like lethargically get out to the like start out the season because I mean it's not like a super old team, but they have a lot of veterans on their team. And like in years past, the Tom Brady Patriots, they would start a little slow, and get hot at the right time. It's week 1 of the NFL season. Like a lot of crazy stuff can happen. And 8.5, 9 points, whatever it is, it's a lot of points. And Dallas's offense, if it's right, they have a shit ton of weapons. Like I don't think they'll have an issue scoring, even with Zach Martin being out.
Yeah. See, I predict that it's going to be like pretty over by halftime, but like I guess I could see a world too where it's like they come out, it's like who cares? Like it's week 1, it's a 17 game season. I wouldn't be surprised too if it's like whatever and they like sleepwalk the game and somehow win by 3 or something like that. Yeah. But I could see that happening.
I agree. Like, I think the only way the Cowboys kind of cover this game is if they kind of just backdoor it at the end. They're down by 19 points going into the fourth quarter, and then they, defense softens up a little bit. CeeDee Lamb gets cooking at the end, so I think I could see that being how this goes. But I think Tampa comes out with some juice. I don't think a Tom Brady team is going to sleepwalk.
That's fair. We'll see. Maybe the age gets to him. I've said that the last 4 years, so we'll see. Maybe this is the season.
Well, anybody listening to this now is going to be they'll know the answer to this game, but that's just what we
So congrats to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But hey, we're here for some predictions. You guys want to start off just with like the AFC right away?
Yeah.
Which one's the more exciting division? We'll start with the least exciting. Which one's less exciting to you guys?
The worst division?
Well, the worst conference.
I would say
conference. I think the NFC is like the better conference.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think so.
But I think the AFC has like, oddly enough, like I think the NFC has more teams that are better, but like I think the AFC has more like exciting things to watch this season.
The AFC,
if that makes sense.
More top heavy with like the Chiefs obviously number 1 at the top. They see
Bills
top heavy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Browns. But we'll get to that.
We will get to that.
So, yeah, I guess let's just start. We can start with the AFC then right away. AFC North, kind of teasing right into what I have winning the division. It's the Browns' year to win the division. Okay. I'll stop there. But I think the Browns are going to win this division. I also have the Steelers making the wild card. But that's it. I don't have the Ravens. I mean, breaking news today. Perfect time to do this. Gus Edwards, Marcus Peters, see ya. This Ravens team is cursed. And, I'm not even going to mention the Bengals. They're fun. They're going to be awesome to watch. If Joe Burrow can stay alive for more than 8 weeks, we'll see. But this division, I think it's the Browns. They were third, I'm pretty sure, in the division last year. So they're playing a third-place schedule. And I think that's important. I have them, I think they're going to be, one of the best records in the league. I think they are they put it together at the end of the season last year. And if you can this is the first year, I think, since college or even high school where Baker Mayfield is going into a season where he had the coach the previous season. First time in his career. And he was actually getting hot towards the end of the season last year. I don't think Odell is cooked. But I felt it was they almost planned the offense around getting Odell the ball. I think it's going to be less of that, and I think that's going to make Odell better. I think that's going to make Baker better. They've got the best running backs in the league, and this defense is championship worthy. It's a fucking good team. I've got the Browns winning this division.
I will go. Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like you're going to say the same thing. I was going to piggyback, and I have the exact same thing. Honestly, before today, I had the Ravens winning the division, and if it just would have been Gus Edwards going down, I probably still would feel that way. But Marcus Peters, and it's so early in the season, and they already have I guess it would be 3 starters now out indefinitely. Sometimes the injury bug hits early and it hits hard, and that just feels like one of the cases here. So yeah, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns for everything you said.
Just going with the Ravens thing quick too. It's that has to be so demoralizing for a team where it's you already lost J.K. Dobbins, you end of the year or season-ending injury. You then lose Justice Hill, season-ending injury. Then you lose on apparently back-to-back plays in practice, Marcus Peters and Gus Edwards. That's just a tough pill for a lot of those guys to swallow. I mean, they literally canceled practice after those injuries.
Who's next?
Right, exactly. It's just
God.
That's an awful sign. I don't really know. I think they're headed into a trap on Monday. I kind of felt this way earlier, but going into that first game in Vegas with people, I think that's a trap game. I think the Raiders might pull that one out, but that's neither here nor there because I also agree. I have the Browns winning the division. I think they have the best defense in that division with a lot of good defenses in it too. They have a fantastic offensive line, 2 of the best running backs. I'm still a sucker for Odell Beckham. I'm in.
Yeah. What do you guys? Because I'm just curious. We haven't talked yet about the Steelers. What do you guys think? I think the Steelers are interesting this year, and they're my wild card. I think they make it as wild card because I think they're
also one of my wild card teams.
But they really were frauds at the second half of the year. They were frauds, and I don't think Big Ben's getting better.
I think
he did lose a little weight. He looks like he's in a little better shape now.
It's true.
I think rumors.
I think he dropped 15 pounds.
Have been slightly exaggerated. I don't think they're going into the season with so much hate and kind of this stink over them. I don't think it's true. And they ended up changing. I can't remember the guy's name, but they have a new offensive coordinator, which is going to be incorporating a lot more play action, kind of jet motion, pre-snap motion. In other words, they'll have a modern looking offense. And they obviously have great weapons on that team. You get a first-round running back, Najee Harris. Obviously, that defense is still really good. They just re-signed T.J. Watt. You keep him happy. I think that team will actually be pretty good. I think they could push for 10 games.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think 10 games is I think even maybe 11, just because it's 17 games.
I got to think. Just a side note, what do you guys think it takes to win a wild card spot this year, because in the past
10 wins. I think it's 10
it
wins.
was always like 10 wins beforehand, right? Like usually like 9 or 10 for a wild card. This year, I don't know.
I think it'll be 9 and 10 again.
Even with 17 games, you think a 9 and 10? I don't know.
I don't know if I don't think there will be a wild card team that has less than 10 wins this year.
I agree.
I think 10 is the minimum.
I could also see someone slide in with 9 if it's like a weird tie where a lot of teams are just like 9 and 8. And
I see a division winner doing that.
I do too. That could easily happen too. But I think just like the top teams, there is a drop off from like the definitive playoff teams where a couple of them I think just like anyone could slide in with like by like strength of schedule or whatever the defining the tiebreaker is. I think a weird 9 and 8 and it's like, oh shit, okay. What do you know? The Broncos are in the playoffs. But yeah, you guys have anything else about this division?
I mean, we didn't really touch on the Bengals too much, but I don't know why the hell they drafted Jamar Chase instead of Penei Sewell. I mean, that is one of the worst picks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter if Jamar Chase turns into a star or not because they were already loaded at wide receiver. They need to protect their guy who just tore their ACL. Like, get your franchise quarterback some and you can make it work.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've got to say about them. Other than that,
I knew the Bengals.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I knew the Bengals offensive line was bad, but I was watching, I went on a YouTube rabbit hole. I have been on like the last couple of weeks getting ready for football. And I saw like it was like the 2020 season biggest hits and 2019-2020 season biggest hits. And I swear to God, every other one was Joe Burrow. And he only played 8 weeks. Like,
you actually found a modern biggest hits compilation. I thought. I thought they stopped doing that. Like,
Dino Productions. Shout out Dino Productions, man. He's all over it on YouTube.
Well, I'll tell you what. You don't see any more like NFL sanctioned big hit compilations.
Right? Yeah.
No. I think the last one that I can remember, it had a few hits, and there's one I remember specifically where it was Tavon Austin going on like a streak down the sideline, and it was a good ball. It was in between the corner and the safety, but as soon as he gets his hands on this ball, whoever that safety was literally knocks him unconscious by just a straight hit to the head. And it's like, oh my God. We used to like celebrate this.
Yes.
And now it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I don't even think it's like, a lot of boomers would say like it's because everybody's soft or something. I think it's just because I'm older and I'm imagining like, my God, that looks terrible. Like,
and it has lifelong
implications. Yeah.
All right.
That's funny.
AFC East. Who wants to get us started? Who's winning the AFC East?
I can go. It's the Bills for me. The reigning champs of the division, I think they're just going to continue to roll. I think Josh Allen, I mean, I don't know if he can really take a step up, but I think he's going to be at least the same guy. I do think that they'll have run for their money in the division. I think the Dolphins are going to be really good this year. I have them as a wild card spot. But this is one of the like divisions that I think is super interesting with Mac Jones, Tua getting his first like legit season, and then I want to say Justin Fields, but Zach Wilson. I just think it's going to be fun and interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's pretty safe to say the Bills take this division. I think they win like 12, 13 games, but I think it's going to be really competitive with the other 3 teams. Because honestly, up until like a few weeks ago, I was kind of like poo-pooing the Patriots. I don't know what it is, man, but I've been getting a good vibe from that team, and I can't believe that I'm putting this on tape. But I do not hate Mac Jones. I actually think he might be okay, and I don't know. I
Thank you for saying Mac Jones. Sorry for interrupting you.
Mac. I think Mac will be just fine. My boy Mac, Big Mac. He'll. I think he's gonna be fine. I think that team is better weapons than they've been given credit for because they've got 2 good playmaking tight ends. Nelson Aguilar is coming off a career year. I mean, it's not like great, but you can definitely work with it. A couple good running backs, and that defense is, I mean, it's going to be great.
Yeah, that's one thing I forgot about the Patriots too, is they had like Patrick Chung and a couple other like veterans just sit out last year because of COVID. And not Patrick Chung, who's their safety, whatever. But they had a couple guys sit out because of COVID. And yeah, well, but he's out again. How long is he out for now? Because he's hurt. He's not playing week 1. I know that.
I think he's on the PUP to start the year. But
okay. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore, he might have set out. I have no idea. But like Kyle Vinoy's back and stuff. But yeah, I also can't. I don't think Bill Belichick will allow the Patriots to be bad for more than 1 year.
And also, Bill signed everybody. Like, Bill went out of that. That defense is so reloaded. And you combine that with just, they went 7-9 last year. And that team felt like they won 1 game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got the Bills winning the East. But it's I think it's the easiest. I think it's one of the easiest picks you can make for winning the division. But my number 2 and also getting a wild card, I've got the Patriots. It is crazy that they were 7-9, and like that's what I looked at. Is like they were 7-9 last year. If they just like a couple of those like close games that they flip the switch, and I think Mac Jones is an upgrade. I don't like it either, but I think he's exactly what Bill wants. I don't like it, but I don't fucking care because I don't get to choose what I like. And he went out and he got his guys, and Bill knows his shit, so I am not gonna like question. I agree. I think their weapons are a lot better than what people are saying. Like, you got Jonnu and Hunter Henry, who are both very good tight ends. Very good. And then, yeah, Nelson Aguilar, Jacoby Myers is still good. Like, who's the rookie from last year? The second who wants to be traded.
N'Keal Harry?
N'Keal Harry.
I think, right?
Yeah, it's his 3rd year.
Oh, 3rd year?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he stink?
Yeah,
he's terrible.
Maybe they'll force feed it to try to trade him for like a 6th round pick or something. But
just got him.
But yeah, no, I think the Patriots. I'm just going with history on this one too. I just think I don't think we're going to see 2 years in a row where the Patriots aren't in playoffs. So I've got them in the wild card spot.
I was just going to say, I know I was just talking up the Patriots. I do not think they're a better team than Miami. I think Miami is still a really loaded team. Like, that roster is loaded top to bottom. Good offensive line. I'm in the tank for Tua. I'm still on the record in the tank for Tua. I think he'll be good, and I think this year he's really going to take a step forward because he's finally not just Frankensteined into an offense designed for Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's his show. He knows it from the beginning. He's another year removed from the hip. I'm really buying into Tua.
I need to see it before I have them. It was a tie between them and another team for my last wild card spot. And yeah, I just like there's a little. I need to see it more from Tua, and maybe I will. I've already had a good preseason. I haven't watched him this preseason. I heard he's been a lot better. So I don't know. I'll see it. And I'll flip right away if I see Tua doing something that is other than dumping it off to Mike Gesicki. But that's my problem. That's a me thing.
Year.
That's right.
They did. They were great. With Ryan Fitzpatrick. So we will see. We will see.
We're pretty good with Tua.
That team makes playoffs with
you go
Ryan
back.
Fitzpatrick.
You watch that game with Tua against the Chiefs. Like, he flashed hard that game, and he like almost brought them into winning that game, and he did it himself. Like, I'm still very much buying in. And how can a team with Malcolm Brown be bad? Come on.
I'll believe, and Myles Gaskin. So I'll believe it when I see it, but I have them just barely missing out. And I think the Jets are at least noteworthy because I think they're interesting. They might steal a game here or there that you don't see coming.
I think they win like five games or so.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I would take the under on that, I think.
I mean, it's safe. It is the Jets.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to the Dolphins for just like a second, I know like Myles Gaskin is like their number one running back, and then behind that they don't really have a whole lot. It's like Salvin Ahmed and stuff. I could see Latavius Murray landing there. I think he probably signs within the next few days, but I think that's definitely a spot he could go.
Yeah.
Didn't they just sign? Yeah, didn't you just say they signed Malcolm Brown, right?
Yeah.
They've had him for a little bit. Yeah. I don't know if. Yeah, I'm not sure.
You want to talk expendable players, Malcolm Brown.
Yeah, I guess.
Right. Yeah. You guys got anything else on the East before we move to the South? All right.
We have to talk about the South.
We can make this one quick.
Okay. Yeah. Is it Titans? It's Titans.
It's Titans for me. Yeah.
I have the Colts. I have the Colts.
Wow.
The Colts. Look, here's my reasoning. I probably don't. I don't love Carson Wentz by any stretch of the imagination.
I hate him, matter of fact.
But as long as he can just be serviceable, the rest of that team is stacked like crazy. That defense is really damn good. They paid Darius Leonard. They have a good offensive line. They have the best guard in football. And
how long is he out for, by the way?
I think he
Quentin
might
Nelson.
be week 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he wasn't gonna.
Same injury as Carson Wentz. They had a really similar timetable. I'm not 100%. I gotta look, but either way, he should be fine for the season in general. And when I say that I think the Colts are gonna win this division, I think it says less about the Colts and more about what I think about the Titans. I think the Titans are frauds, big time. I don't like Ryan Tannehill. I've been on the record. I don't think he's very good. He's fine. Listen, he's okay. But if you want to talk about a team that needs to win like 10, 11 games, no, I don't think the Titans can do it. That defense is putrid. They had no pass rush. They just lost Clowney, too, on top of it. Who is going to generate any kind of pass rush on that team? And then on the offensive side of the ball, name a running back that has had a good season after running for 2,000 yards the very next year. You'll be hard-pressed to find one. Their offensive line is nothing special. They lost Jonnu Smith. They lost the GOAT, Corey Davis. And their 2 wide receivers are both coming off knee injuries and hamstrings. I don't see it.
This team is going to be scoring. Yeah. They don't need a defense when you got A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, Derrick Henry. You don't need a good quarterback. I could toss to them. They are going to be bomb squad. They might be one of the most fun teams to watch. I hope they have a lot of primetime games. And I'm just going to rock with the names and the excitement with the Titans. Fuck it. Yeah, I hope he shuts everyone up. I just love those weapons, and I don't know. Let it ride, Titans. Let it fucking ride. I'm excited for the Titans this year.
The only thing I have to say is I can't name a running back that's had a good season after running for 2,000 yards. All I know is none of them were Derrick Henry. That man is a fucking machine. He is not human. If we were to meet aliens and they said, bring us the perfect specimen of what humans have created, it would be Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry or DK
Metcalf.
Metcalf.
Robot. Yeah.
The physical. Yeah. They're close though. They're close. Give them the monsters.
Yes.
What running back led the league in carries that went for 1 or no yards? Spoiler alert, it was Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, his whole shtick is run into the offensive line as many times as he can, and then hopefully he just breaks one. Listen, last year, he did. And it worked.
He does every year. He does every year.
Yeah, but it's got to slow down at some point, and I think this is the year. I'm pumping the brakes a little bit.
I'm sure that's what they said his senior year in high school when he scored 56 rushing touchdowns, ran for 2,600 yards. Eventually. Christ.
Yeah. You gotta go with the hot. I don't know. I just gotta go with them. They are so fucking
Derrick Henry is the only running back to rush for 2,000 yards in a single season in high school, college, and the NFL. And he's now going to be the only running back to ever run for 2,000 yards in back-to-back seasons.
And I still wouldn't pay him.
Okay, that's a different argument.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
That's for another day.
This is a division I think 9 games wins. I don't know though. because we didn't talk about the other side of the coin in this division, in the fact like the Jags and the Texans might combine for like 5 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Texans are the worst fucking team I've ever seen.
They have nothing. They have. It's funny because they were saying for how bad and projected to be bad they are. They have like one of the oldest teams in the NFL too.
That's crazy.
Like that is how like Texans fans like mark off the next 10 years of being a fan, because you have to get out of the trenches for what you did to your team.
Yeah.
They are going to be so bad. Like, I might just, we're doing our survivor pool for the listeners. I might just pick against the Texans every week. I don't know what the fuck to do. Because, they are going to be horrendous. And the Jags are too. But at least the Jags have Trevor Lawrence and a couple weapons that could just win them a game.
Boy,
I was going to say, who knows? I mean, right. Trevor Lawrence, if he is what he's all cracked up to be, he might be enough. You know what I mean? If he's that good with the weapons that are surrounding him, they might not be awful. I think they're going to be bad this year, but in the years to come, they could be really fun, you know?
Sure.
The Texans have nothing in their future. Nothing.
I'll tell you what about the Jags. I hope they bite the bullet right after this season and get rid of Urban Meyer. Rethink, retool, and go at it. Because that was not it. He is not it.
Dude, I think there's a chance he just quits halfway through the year.
I don't think he wants... Did you see how pissed he was getting during preseason games? He was getting that frustrated for preseason. That's tough.
Like, by all accounts, it is a complete fucking clown show, and they haven't even played a game yet. Like, this is not college anymore. You are coaching grown men in their 30s and like late 20s, and you're running your practices with dudes on megaphones, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that, like, oh my god, it just seems like a total joke. And then I don't even know what to say about the Texans. Their quarterback Tyrod Taylor was washed 5 years ago.
Whoa! We don't need to hate on Tyrod here. We don't need to hate on Tyrod.
He's bad. I'm not hating, but I'm just stating facts. He's bad. I don't know what you want me to say. It has nothing to do with hating Tyrod. He's just bad. They have bad weapons all over the team. No one on defense outside of like Whitney Merciless, and he might be washed. Dude, I mean, this team fucking sucks.
Yep. They're also employing a rapist. Not in for that.
No.
So, we don't need to talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough organization altogether. Real tough. But yeah, you guys have anything else with the South? Is it even worth mentioning anything more?
Nope, I didn't want to talk about this team for 5 seconds, let alone the 5 minutes we just spent.
All right, let's go to the division with the Chiefs. So Chiefs are winning this. What else do we think about this division?
We all have the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Well, I do. It is a fun division, yeah. I have the Chargers as my other wild card team.
Well, there's 3.
I think they're. Yeah, what's that?
Did you already say your other?
Yeah, he said Pittsburgh, the Steelers, the Dolphins, and the Chargers.
Those are exactly my 3 wild cards.
Yeah. I just think the Chargers, like, they still have Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, and Justin Herbert. That's all that matters to me on the offense. And their defense, they're going to have Nick Bosa and Derwin James back, so it's only going to be better. I just think they're going to be really good. I don't know what else to say.
So I've got my 3rd wild card in this division too, and it's not the Chargers. I'm going out with the Broncos. I think the Broncos are so fucking good, dude. That defense, it's top 5. It's going to be at least. It is so good. And they will win with just like, and like, I think it's going to be so close. There are like 4 or 5 teams for that last wild card that I think are so close. And yes, I do believe in Justin Herbert. I think the Chargers could easily take this. But I think just what they're doing at QB is smart enough to win some games. They've got so many weapons. Like, Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon is a great backfield to have. And just the receivers, Cortland Sutton, fingers crossed, really hoping that like that injury is not a big deal and he can come back. And Jerry Jeudy, very good. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited. And I think whoever starts struggling at QB, I think they'll just go to the other one, and I think it'll be the right choice. Teddy Bridgewater can be good enough. I don't think he's very good. And Drew Lock at least has a ceiling that if Teddy isn't winning you games, Drew Lock could come in and toss some bombs. He can also tank your team.
He also could throw 7 interceptions.
Right, yeah, he could tank your team, but he could also just come in and maybe like re-energize the team. So I'm excited for the Broncos. They are an Aaron Rodgers away from being like Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah, but I think that this is, you just put it yourself, like they're an Aaron Rodgers away. But I like Teddy Bridgewater. He won't let you lose. Like, he won't let you win less than like 6 games. But I don't think Teddy Bridgewater's that guy who's going to win you like 10-11. And I think that's ultimately what's going to hold him back. I think in this division especially, you're going to have to put up some points, even if you have I think they do have a good defense, and I just don't know how much at the end of the day that can carry them to enough wins to compete with the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Possible. I mean, yeah, like I said, I really like the Chargers, but I just want to see what they can do as a full team. Especially with a new head coach. I don't at all doubt Justin Herbert. Like, he is a star in the making. Do you guys think then, because if you have them in playoffs, do you think he has a real, like, is he going to be like top 3 MVP? Top 3, top 5?
I don't think so. I don't even know if he's going to be like in the conversation. I just think like I can't imagine him regressing from last year. Even if he's the same quarterback he was last year, like his stats might regress a little bit because they might not have to score as many points. I don't think he's like a guy who turns the ball over, which is, I think, just huge with how good their defense is. But no, I don't think he has to be like top 3 in MVP for them to make the playoffs.
I don't think so. He has.
The rest of that team's really good.
I agree. I just think if they are like they're getting enough wins to be there, and I think by default he just might be in the conversation. I don't have him in that conversation.
If they win the division, if they were to win the division, I think for sure. But yeah.
Oh, if they win the division, Herbert is absolutely in the MVP conversation.
Yes,
but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because I don't think that one's going to happen. With the Chiefs are so damn good. I mean, obviously coldest take in the world, but like. I think Pat Mahomes with a retooled offensive line waltzes to an MVP this year. I don't think it's going to be close.
And I'll say, spoiler too, I think they also waltz to a Super Bowl. It's not an exciting one, but like I have them winning. Like my AFC Championship, I think we are going to get an awesome rematch of last year. I think it's going to be Browns Chiefs, and Chiefs are just going to beat them.
We'll get into the playoffs. We'll get there when we get there. No rush. I guess the other, obviously we haven't really talked about the Raiders, but they're interesting. I don't know what to make of them, really. Like, they're just a weird team. But they have so many guys on their team that are just like kind of average. Like Derek Carr is the epitome of average quarterback. Like, I think Derek Carr is kind of like the new Andy Dalton. Just that median quarterback who could get you over the hump to go to the playoffs, but also could just suck.
Yeah.
I think this team's a waste. And not in a waste as in like the Texans kind of waste. I think they're in a waste as in they're going to weirdly absorb a couple wins and just be there. And I hate them so much. And I hate Gruden as a coach. I hate him. I hope they completely rebuild after this.
Well, he'll be there for about 7 more years, so get used to it.
They gotta cut ties, because it's not working. This isn't working at all.
Mike Mayock's gonna be the guy to go. He'll take the blame. They'll rebuild with another GM for 4 more years and repeat the process. They're not getting rid of John Gruden.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want him back on Monday Night Football. It hasn't been the same since. I want this team to suck so that he can find a way on Monday Night Football again.
Well, we don't need them. We got the Mannings on Monday Night Football now.
Is that? I thought that was just like the ESPN Plus.
Either way, it's just a different broadcast, and I'm sure shit tuning into that one.
You're paying for ESPN Plus?
Is that just ESPN Plus?
Yeah, That's like because they're trying to get so much shit like on it.
Listen, I might.
With that being said, I am paying for ESPN Plus. I just don't know why. It'll be a lot better, I'm sure. But
you probably have that. Do you have that Disney Plus package?
I have the Disney Plus, Hulu, and yeah. And it's on a whole different email, so I can't even like look at Matthew Berry articles. I can't reap the benefits because it's on a different email. So I have to figure that out. But yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Did you guys have anything else about the AFC before we go into the NFC?
No.
Perfect. Let's go right up to the north. It's the Packers, right? It's another.
Yes,
I think it's another.
Yes.
I think this one's pretty easy. And I'm skeptical. I don't think we get 13 wins this year. I think we're more around like 12 or 11, and I think that wins the division. I mean the Lions are also a waste, but at least the Lions kind of I see more of a future than the Texans. But the Lions are a waste. Motor City Dan Campbell is a moron. He's really dumb. I think he's the dumbest coach in the NFL. And they've got Goof. So, what are you doing with that team? And you lost like all of your best players last year. So they are really bad. So they are just going to be a waste in this division. Vikings and Bears are at least interesting.
Before we go on to other teams, DeAndre Swift's not a murderer, right?
Well, maybe.
Coming into today, I did not think we were going to have this conversation of if DeAndre Swift was a murderer or not.
Here we are.
I just saw a tweet. I didn't have time to do any research or anything like that, nor did I really care to because I figure the facts will come out when the facts come out. But yeah, I don't know. The one thing I saw was like a reply. It said that he was like implicated in a murder in Philadelphia like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Well, there was a picture of the police report.
It's real.
It's a thing. I don't know what to make of it. I'm not calling him Ray Lewis, but I'm not calling him O.J. Simpson,
And I might be calling him Aaron Hernandez. We don't know.
Okay.
Well, let the facts come out when they come out.
Yeah.
But I think the Lions, in general, minus the whole murder thing. I mean, listen, I think Dan Campbell might love that. I think that kind of fits into his scheme, but
he might actually love it. Yeah, he is the kind of guy to be like, this excites the team. This is the kind of energy we need.
Right. Seriously, we're out for blood. I mean, hey, they were going to be the guys like gnawing at ankles and like breaking kneecaps and shit. But I think this is going to be a terrible team that wins like 4 to 5 games, but they cover a shitload of spreads. I think like they're just going to play hard and lose.
Quintez Cephas is too much to handle for some defenses, or what?
No, I think they'll just play hard. They have a really good offensive line. I will give them that. Like, Goof will have time to do whatever in God's name he'll end up doing, but he'll have time to do it.
Dump it off to Big Cock Hawk. I'm right.
I hate the Vikings. I think the Vikings are the most overrated team. I don't get
Who's rating them high?
Oh, I see them making wild card all the time.
Morons.
Spoiler alert, they're not on my wild card. There's going to be one team from this division that makes the playoffs. And it certainly is not the Vikings. Like, Kirk Cousins, he's just anti-vax Derek Carr. Adam Thielen's getting a year older. I don't think that defense is nearly as good as they were a few years ago, and it just seems like the Zimmers are on the way out.
I hope so, because I've got to bet Mike Zimmer first coach fired. I really want that one to hit.
We'll get to mine. I'll get to mine later.
Yours is good, too. I know what yours is in it. I think that's a good one, too. But, yeah, I agree. I think this team, I think they're flashy where they need to be. Obviously Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, flashy where it's fun for fantasy football, but this isn't a real playoff competitor. I don't see anything that's really all that appealing in them.
Am I crazy for thinking the Bears are better than the Vikings?
Well, I do have two teams in this. I do have two teams in this division making playoffs. Unfortunately, Bears wild card. They did it last year with Trubisky. I I know that they're like downgraded in general, but I think Justin Fields takes over somewhat early. They're gonna feed Andy Dalton to the Sharks, especially when they get blown out by the Rams. I think that they are ready to toss, and it makes sense. And I would do the same thing because you have way less pressure, and it's probably way more energizing to toss in a rookie QB who's much better mid-season. And I think they make a push, and I think like they could get 10 wins. A 10-7 is totally possible. And yeah, I hate to say it, but Justin Fields looks good. He was a steal in the draft. He shouldn't have fallen that far. So many teams are going to regret it.
How much are the Broncos going to regret not having Justin Fields this year? That's a tough one. I don't know how they pass him up, but yeah, I'm with you. I think the Bears, they still have a good defense. They got interesting weapons, and they have Justin Fields. I mean, that makes that team so much better from the jump, and I don't think Justin Fields starts later than week 3.
I agree. Yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah, I think Bears, I think they slide in at the last wild card spot, similar to last year. Any other thoughts on the North?
No, it's
there's one thing I do want to say. I don't know if we're doing like playoff predictions here. Like I guess we can do Super Bowl predictions at the end. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
One last thing about the Packers. I don't think they'll go 13-3, but I think they have a very realistic possibility of winning like 11, 12 games and being a better team than they were last year.
Completely agree. We have a brutal schedule. I could see us stringing like 2 or 3 losses in a row.
I think, getting Bakhtiari for the stretch run, I think Green Bay is going to really gel towards the end of the year.
Which is perfect. That's what the Buccaneers did. So I'm excited for that.
It's what we did when we won a Super Bowl, too.
So next we've got the NFC least.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Yep. I know. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I know who I've got winning it, but tips for betting. Take whatever the worst odds are and just cross your fingers. I don't know.
Well, it's definitely what I did because, I mean, just hold your breath and pick one. I ended up taking the Eagles to win this division, and it didn't feel good. I'll tell you that, but I think that team has at least a competent defense, and fuck it, maybe Jalen Hurts is okay. And they have good weapons, so, I mean, why not? Their offensive line will also be a lot better than they were last year. I'm very confident in that. So, I'm going with the Eagles, but, I mean, the rest of the division looks like an absolute disaster. I think the Giants look like a dumpster fire, and they haven't even played a game yet. I am very on the record, but I think Daniel Jones is by far the worst starting quarterback in football, not named Tyrod Taylor. He might be worse than Tyrod. I don't know, man. He fucking stinks.
I think he. I
think he's worse than Tyrod.
It's close. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
I just don't want to say I like Daniel Jones more than anyone because I don't. I just hate him.
Fair.
And then too, the other teams. I mean, I like Washington. I think they're fun, and I think that team will legitimately be okay. I just don't think you can make it 17 games with Ryan Fitzpatrick as your starter. It just won't work. He's never done it really before, or where he's gone every game and really let him. Like, he had that one year where he played really, really well with the Jets almost the whole season, and then the last game of the year he throws like 6 interceptions, and then they miss the playoffs. I mean, he's going to do that to somebody every year.
I agree, but I do have the footballs winning the East.
Okay.
Defense is so good that I just think they'll carry him to wins. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick will be serviceable enough. He is, I don't know, he's probably like a lateral move from Alex Smith, I would say. I think his ceiling's a little higher, but his floor is obviously a little bit lower too. Like they have Terry McLaurin, they have Antonio Gibson. I don't know. They have some weapons on offense. I think they'll be able to win some games. This division winner might be finish with less than a 500 record. So anybody's guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Sorry about that. For the visual watchers, I guess headphones were dying. I had to switch the settings to the wired. Yeah, I guess I just heard you guys talking about the football team. I've got them winning it. I think this team is really good all around. It's going to come down to if Fitzpatrick is Fitzmagic or Fitztragic, and he'll probably be both, which is the full Fitzpatrick experience. But I think they can win in spite of him, I guess, being bad or tossing picks here and there. Because when he throws bombs, he's going to be hitting Scoring McLaurin wide deep, and I'm excited for that. And Antonio Gibson's awesome. Like, he's great. And, I mean, probably becoming my favorite defensive player in the league is Chase Young. He is, I mean, we talked about the aliens taking a physical specimen. Toss him in there, too.
Take him, too.
Toss him in there, too. Yeah, I think they're all around just the best team in this division. Did you guys talk at all about the Cowboys when I couldn't hear you?
Not yet.
No, we haven't, no.
Last thing about the football team is I think what could make them really interesting, I mean, you guys might disagree, but I think this is the spot Cam Newton ends up. And I think you can, back with Ron Rivera again, I think you can mix and match and make it work if you have some combo of Cam and Fitzmagic throughout the season. I can see that actually working out really well.
I hadn't even considered that, but that's a good point.
Yeah, I bet dollars to donuts he either ends up there or he ends up as a backup quarterback for the next team, which is the Dallas Cowboys. I think he ends up one of those two teams.
Okay, fair enough. What do you guys think? I watched the first episode of Hard Knocks. I'm weirdly liking the Cowboys players more than I have in the past. I think they're likable.
Hard Knocks is such propaganda. It did it to me too.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be good, but I'm liking some Cowboys players, and I don't like it.
I've always liked some of the Cowboy players. Like, I've never had a reason to hate Amari Cooper. Zeke just seems like a goofball. I think he got a bad rep with those crop tops. Nobody liked those crop tops.
Speak for yourself. I thought they were fire the whole time.
A lot of people, I would say the consensus was negative on the crop tops. Yeah.
He was ahead of his time.
He was.
Yeah. I don't like Dak as a person. Same reason I don't like Dallas Goedert. I just saw him get punched in the face, and for some reason that just leaves a negative image in my mind about him. I know it shouldn't, but it does. And Amari Cooper is just cool. Amari Cooper's a cool dude.
Cooper's cool.
Yeah.
You're doing your best Skip Bayless impression.
Yeah, he's weak. He's weak. For talking about mental health.
It just leaves a bad. I like Dak as a quarterback. I think Dak is actually a easily top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
I like
probably
Dak.
Top 7.
I like Dak the person way more than I like
Yes.
Dak the quarterback.
I don't know anything about Dak other than seeing him get hit.
No, Dak is an actual.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. I like Dak a lot. Hard Knocks helped with that, but the way he was he opened up about mental health after his brother committed suicide, all that stuff. He's just an open, honest guy. I really like Dak.
And it's hard not to root for him after that injury last year.
Yeah.
It's really hard. That's just so shitty that happened when it did. And he's under the biggest microscope just by being a cowboy quarterback who got paid a lot. So he gets a ton of criticism. And yeah, no, I like him as a person more than I like him as a quarterback. But I do like a lot of I like Amari Cooper. I'm fine with Zeke. I don't have anything really against Zeke. I'm fine with Zeke. I like his relationship in Hard Knocks with Dak. And I think CeeDee Lamb's a stud. But that's kind of where it ends with that's kind of where it ends with me.
Does that stink?
Yeah.
Awful. Just bad. And
I think I could only name 2 defenders on their team: Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch.
Micah Parsons.
Yep.
And DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yep.
DeMarcus Lawrence is still on that team?
Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
still very good.
Okay. Yeah, he is still very good. Yeah.
Yeah, they got like, yeah, it's weird. I've never seen a team that has like a really loaded linebacking core and then like nothing else. I don't even understand how that dynamic even works.
Well, they play in all three levels, so hopefully they just have one at each level every play.
I think what will work in their favor is Micah Parsons at linebacker being number 11, and then I think Jalen Smith went back to his like single-digit college number. I think it was 9.
I love that.
So
yeah.
cool.
Yes.
And what makes it even cooler is how much Tom Brady absolutely hates it.
Yeah, that's true.
Does he
That's
hate
right.
it? Has he been vocal about that?
He's like the only guy in the league who's super vocal about how much he cannot stand the number change because it's going to make identifying players at the line of scrimmage harder. Like, oh, boo-hoo.
He's always looking for a running back.
Yeah, sorry the 44-year-old can't figure out who's at what position because he's a curmudgeon who can't figure it out. He's used to linebackers should be in the 50s. You know, well, maybe somebody who wasn't born in the 50s can figure it out, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. He's the only person in the league throwing a fit about it, too.
Oh, yeah.
Lastly, I just want to say about this division and the Cowboys. Micah Parsons is another drinking from the Kool-Aid of Hard Knocks. I'm really liking him.
Oh, yeah.
Also, is this the are the Cowboys like the land of misfit toys for previous head coaches?
I think if you go roster by roster, you'd be shocked to find the amount of previous head coaches. Because I know they had like Joe Philbin, and I'm like, what is Joe Philbin doing at the Cowboys?
Yeah. I remember just seeing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even know Ben McAdoo was in the league anymore. Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. What? So really weird situation there. But that's all I've got to say about the NFC East. So we've got the Buccaneers in the next division. Any other thoughts?
Nope.
I do.
Okay.
I have some thoughts.
I guess I have thoughts.
I actually like this division. I think it's super interesting top to bottom, honestly, weirdly enough. I think Tampa Bay runs away with it. Tampa Bay speaks for themselves. There's nothing to say. They are bringing back all 22 starters. It is what it is. If you want to know what our thoughts are, go watch them from the last year. There's nothing to really say about Tampa. But going to actually interesting teams like Carolina, I'm excited about what they're doing. That defense, it was super young. It got a lot better towards the end of the year last year. They are loaded with weapons. And I think they can make some fireworks. I actually have them making the wild card.
Oh shit! Okay.
I thought that's incredible.
I could totally.
I also have the Panthers, and I thought I was going to get roasted for having them make a wild card spot.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have the exact same playoffs.
Yeah, we might. Yeah.
Oh man, I get it. Like if Sam Darnold can even just show something. They've got a great team. I get it.
Yeah.
Like I don't hate anything else about them. And yeah, I agree. It's an interesting division, especially. I think the Falcons will be fun to watch. They aren't a serious team, but I think they'll be fun.
The Saints are going to be fun to watch.
Yeah,
Jameis season.
Yeah, I am really excited. Obviously, because of my, if you want to know what I think about Jameis Winston, go through any fucking episode we have about football. I want to see it. I think they're going to overperform just because people are really down on them. And I want to see how he operates in this offense. Unfortunately, I think for better or for worse, I think Sean Payton's going to kind of mend together great Jameis and terrible Jameis and just kind of make like a pretty good quarterback, which is better for actual quarterback stuff. Football, but it's not fun for me because I like seeing the ups and downs. It is way more fun. But yeah, like I'm in general, I'm really excited to see. This is like the perfect chance to like prove himself, and I'm excited that I see a lot of people also excited and like willing to see what this Jameis looks like. But other than that, the Saints, I think they'll just like they've got weird shit going on, especially with like Michael Thomas. But I think they'll like overperform and win some games that you don't expect. Like I think week 1.
I also I have a lot of faith in Sean Payton as a coach. Like he's just a very good and proven head coach. Also, like, they might do some very weird things on offense this year. With Taysom Hill, obviously, like, I could see him just like being a tight end for a little while, you know? Like, why not? They just paid him a bunch of money. They're gonna use him, you know?
I agree.
And they have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, so
4?
4 quarterbacks. Yeah, they kept 4 quarterbacks. So that leads me to believe like Taysom Hill will probably like play more than just being a backup quarterback, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they need all the weapons they can get, to be fair, at this point.
That's true. I mean, Taysom Hill, he might have a decent target share. Who knows?
I think this team wins 9 games.
Okay.
The Saints? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair, I think.
But in my like kind of playoff scenario, I don't think 9 wins is enough, especially with a 17-game schedule. I think you need 10. So they're gonna barely miss the playoffs for me, but I still think they're good.
Yeah.
And then I just don't really feel like talking too much about the Falcons. I mean,
yeah,
it's the same Falcons team that it is every year, just replacing Kyle Pitts for Julio.
Yeah.
Same bad defense. It's the same shit. I don't know. Unless Arthur Smith really like comes in and whips a bunch of people into shape, I don't see them making any noise.
I agree. And I don't really have anything else to say about any of these teams or division whole. Which brings us to the best division in football, the most exciting, the NFC West. This is going to be electric, guys. I'm fucking excited for this. I don't know. So what do you guys think? I want to see who you guys have winning division and everything.
I have the 49ers winning the division.
Okay.
I love the Niners this year. I think they get healthy. That defense is ungodly loaded. And their offense, Kyle Shanahan, offensive line is still really good. I mean, they're going to do a lot of really fun things. I think Trey Lance plays sooner than later, hopefully. And I think they're going to be really exciting. I have 3 teams in this division making playoffs, and I think 3 of them win double-digit games. So I have the Rams also winning 10, 11 games, as well as the Seahawks. I think all 3 of those teams are good. Now, you got a lot of people real excited about the Arizona Cardinals. If you have 10 teams, or you have 3 teams winning 10 games in a division, something's got to give. And I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be one of the biggest busts in football this year. I love Kyler. It is nothing against him, but good Lord, Cliff Kingsbury has no idea what the hell he's doing. He is my bet. I put it in for first coach fired. I do not buy anything that man sells.
Yeah, I feel very similar about the division with a couple, just like a small change of I have the Rams ahead of the Niners at winning the division, but I also have the Niners as like the number 1 wild card spot. The Seahawks at number 2. They might be fucking like tied and like some whatever the tiebreaker is for that, but I think those 3 are the locks for playoffs, and it would be really weird. Something would have to happen for those 3 not to be in playoffs, I think. Yeah, I love.
We all have 3 teams from this division making playoffs.
Yes, and we all have 3 different teams winning the division.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I have the Seahawks. I have the Seahawks winning the division.
I thought you were the Cardinals for a second. I was gonna throw a hand.
No.
But I am so excited for the Rams, only because like I love Matthew Stafford and I want to see what he can do. This team's so exciting. And man, these Rams 49ers NFC Championship game would be so electric. That would be, oh man, that would just be so fun. Like obviously I want the Packers to be there, but if they aren't, give me the Rams Niners NFC champ. That's going to be crazy. And yeah, I guess like if it depends on like how quickly the Niners toss it over to Trey Lance, I think. And then I think that's when the true ceiling will show itself. And if it's sooner than later, look out, because they've got gunpowder. Like, they could be so good. And, yeah, the Seahawks are just always going to be, they're the constant. You know, there's death, taxes, and the Seahawks being good enough to be in the playoffs. They aren't going to do anything. They aren't a serious playoff team, but they'll make playoffs.
I have them making playoffs. I think they will be good. But if you had to ask me like what team I'm kind of shaky on, it is the Seahawks. Like, they are doing some new things, like they brought in the old Rams passing game coordinator, so maybe, you know, they let Russ cook or whatever, they get a little more exciting on offense. But like, if it doesn't happen, dude, Pete Carroll's got to go, man.
I think he should have been gone already. When this stuff with Russell Wilson happened, how dare you side with the coach? Like, I guess like it's fine now. Maybe it was overblown. But if Russ comes in and says Pete's got to go, I don't think twice.
I don't think it's overblown. I think if anything, this is being like, I legit think this might be like the most underreported thing in football right now.
Okay.
I do not think Russell Wilson is on this team in a few years.
How soon? Wait.
When is his contract up?
It's sooner than you think.
I was gonna say I think it's like 2023, right?
Sounds.
Because didn't he just sign that deal before last year? So yeah, I think 2023, maybe 2024.
So he has 3 seasons and remaining on his contract. I don't think he finishes that contract with Seattle.
Okay, interesting.
I think something's gonna happen there. I don't know what it is, but there's something very quietly brewing in Seattle that's making me a little uneasy. I'm gonna be real honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would I'd love to see him in the AFC. That'd be cool. Cause havoc over there. But in general, I don't think this team, and I think Pete Carroll's a bad coach, or he is now at least. That just happens. But yeah, they're good enough because that's the Seahawks. They'll find their way into the playoffs. But then the Cardinals, they'll play spoiler here and there. They can figure out, they might play spoiler here and there, but that's all I've got to say for them. It sucks that they're in the best time to go all in at the worst time in the hardest division. That sucks because
Respected though. I respect them going for it.
Yeah, they aren't fuck it, whatever. And I do like what they're doing, as in this is a big make or break season then for both Kyler and Cliff Kingsbury. Because if you want to buy in, make them earn it. And if they don't earn it, then that's fine. You can figure out something after this season. But I think it's a really nice make or break season. Because with how this division is right now, you kind of need to figure out if who's your guys and who aren't. So I do like what they're doing in general. It just sucks because, man, you are number 4. You are last in this division.
Listen, they'd win the NFC East comfortably.
Easy.
Comfortably.
They'd win the AFC South.
Oh, God, yeah.
Can we bring that up? Do you think football would be better as a whole if the divisions were just for scheduling and you just went based off of seeding?
No, I don't at all.
No,
I don't either.
Okay.
I think the NFL.
I feel the same way.
It's so historically built on regional rivalries that I think doing anything that gets rid of those regional rivalries would really hurt the sport.
Yeah. I know there's been I don't know, a whole lot of talk, but at least the media I pay attention to in the NBA say that they should get rid of that and they just use it as scheduling. And getting rid of the West and the East in general, and you just take the 12 best teams.
I don't like that, yeah.
I it wouldn't bother me nearly as much in basketball, but in the NFL, because in basketball there really aren't rivalries per se. There are between let's say the Cavs and the Warriors from 5 or 6 years ago, right? But that's just because they were the best teams going against each other. You have stretches where there will be rivalries in the NBA, but I wholeheartedly agree in the NFL because it's the Bears and the Vikings are the Packers' rivals, and if that went away, I don't know, it would feel very weird.
It works better in the NBA too because their division system doesn't matter anyways.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that. It works for the NBA. That's all well and good, but I like what the NFL has. Just seems perfect.
Yeah,
I agree. And I'm already pissed of how they give us 17 games. This sucks. This is stupid.
Final note about.
Do you want 18 or are you wanting to stay at 16?
16. 16 was the perfect
16,
number.
yeah. I like that too.
I did, but now that we're here, I'm just embracing it because if we're just gonna trade it for a preseason game, why not?
Yeah, I guess I'm also cool with that. And I'm really never gonna complain about more football to watch. Right. So,
but anyways, the last thing I wanted to say about the NFC West is, I think there's a chance DK Metcalf goes for like 2,000 yards. I think like he is like a couple things away from being by far the most unstoppable receiver in football.
A couple things. Pete Carroll. He's Pete Carroll away.
Maybe, but I think it's like close.
Put Bruce Arians as the coach of that team, and I would understand. Because he would let Russ cook. He would say, fuck it.
He would.
He would. Yeah, that'd be actually really cool to see. But yeah, I mean, possibly. I'm not going to count it out. He's definitely got the skills for it.
So who do you guys have all for making the playoffs and for each like conference? So like for the NFC, I'm not going to do any like ordering it by seeds or anything, but I've got the Packers, Tampa Bay, the Eagles, the 49ers, and then my wild cards are Seahawks, Rams, Panthers.
Yeah, I've got...
I have...
You got it, Fenner.
Okay. I have the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Footballs, the Seahawks, all division winners, and then I have the Rams, the 49ers, and the Panthers.
So I've got Packers, football team, Buccaneers, Rams, and then wild card Niners, Seahawks, Bears.
And then AFC, I've got Browns, Colts, Buffalo, Chiefs, and then my wild cards are Steelers, Miami, and the LA Chargers. Los Angeles.
Same. Yeah, same.
So the only thing we had different was the NFC East. So that's interesting. Not a good sign.
You guys also you technically had NFC West different. You had different division winners. So
yeah, we did. And I didn't really say anything about the NFC West because you guys pretty much said it all. I just think that Russell Wilson is. I hate how good he is. He has broken my heart very many times, and I just don't think. I don't think this is the year. Obviously, nobody thinks this is the year where it falls off for the Seahawks, even with Pete Carroll and that whole debacle. But I don't know. I'm just getting a Seattle feeling. So
fair enough. Then AFC, I've got Browns, Bills, Titans, Chiefs, and then wild card Steelers, Pats, Broncos. All right.
Now, this might sound crazy. So my Super Bowl is Packers-Browns. I legitimately think if you want to take teams, listen, I don't want to be the guy that's like betting against Pat Mahomes, right?
Right.
But I'm looking at these teams and I'm thinking, who's like best built for December football, January football, especially when it comes to between the Chiefs and the Browns. The Browns are built for it. It's all about the running game at that point. It's about having a pass rush. Look how the Buccaneers did it last year. The defense got hot. The bookends got after the quarterback. I mean, you got Myles Garrett, who might be I think he's the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year. They signed Jadeveon Clowney. They're stacked at all levels. Denzel Ward. I mean, this team is ready to go. If Baker can just like take that step up, and I think the sky's the limit.
I agree completely. I've got, like I said right away, I think week 1 is a preview of the AFC Championship. I've got Browns, Chiefs in it. I just think that I'm going to be rooting so hard for the Browns in that game, and I don't get what I want. So it's going to be the Chiefs. So that's the only thing I can like distinguish. But the Browns are all as like loaded as the Chiefs, except they don't have Pat Mahomes.
Who do you have in the NFC making it?
The NFC, I have the Rams. So I've got Rams, Chiefs. Okay. I've got Chiefs over Rams.
That seems very likely.
Yeah.
I have the Packers and the Chiefs.
Okay.
Fair.
Packers and the Chiefs.
Would love that. Oh.
I would absolutely love it. And I know what at least some of my friends who watch the show are going to say, especially about me and Kyle's NFC picks, is we're just homers because of the Packers. And yeah, fuck it. I am a homer. I do want the Packers to be good, and I do think the Packers are going to be good. I think that, just listen to this. This is like my wet dream. The Bucks win an NBA title. The Brewers win a World Series championship. And then the Packers, to round it all out, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb, fuck it, one last ride, and they just leave everything out on the table. Oh my God. I might be living in a dream, but I do think the Packers have a legitimate chance to win the Super Bowl.
And listen, I call BS on counting it as like homer shit, because they've made the NFC Championship the last 2 years, and we should have won the NFC. If David Bakhtiari doesn't tear his ACL in the shreds, we're winning that NFC Championship comfortably.
Mm-hmm. And the Super Bowl.
Should have won it anyway.
Yeah. I think we win the Super Bowl too then.
Well, considering the Chiefs had their offensive line hurt too.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably. Maybe. But yeah, that I think we really round into form this year and we make the Super Bowl. And I think we win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
As do I.
Wow.
As do I.
Scenario where they
Let's go.
Play the Browns. I'll just take the Pack. What's a man to do?
Probably last year you can do that too. So
yeah, fuck it.
It's fair.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually predicted the Packers to win the Super Bowl before either. So
I forgot. I did 1 year, and I was like, "This is just my unbiased opinion," and yeah, we just didn't. But yeah, that's well, we just predicted the future of.
You're welcome, bettors and gamblers out there.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You guys got any last thoughts?
Feels good to be back in the saddle, and it feels good to get ready for some football. We're going to do this every single week. We're going to record it on a Tuesday, put it out on a Wednesday for everybody. We'll get there. We'll review the week that just happened, preview a little bit of the week to come, and what we're going to do is, everybody right now, I'm putting you guys on the spot a little bit, but we're going to have a little bit of a Farmcast Survivor. So the three of us each week, we're going to give our lock, make sure, and see who can be the survivor at the end of it. For my lock, it's the same one I'm doing in my other survivor pool, and I'm taking the Rams over the Bears as my big lock for week 1.
Before I get into mine, I'm not going to say mine are locks, because I'm going to pick the teams, and I'm not saying you guys aren't either, but I'm going to pick, until I'm out of our actual survivor pool, like that we're doing with a bunch of our friends, I'm going to use the same teams that I'm picking in that. And I chose the Panthers this week. I think the Jets are atrocious.
Too, but I think there's just that little chance the Jets can kind of sneak up and catch them. So I'm not gonna put my week 1 survivor on the shoulders of Sam Darnold.
Fuck it, I'm going all in. I'm going all in.
And my lock, I got Niners over Lions. Lions suck, and they've got a murderer on their team, so.
True.
And the Niners are just very good. All right.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited. This is my first Survivor league that I've ever done, so I am very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, same here. Excited. And you know what? The listeners should be too. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, follow. Everything. We're back. Better than ever.
Better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Follow us at the Farmcast Pod on all social medias. We don't have to do that. We're rebranding.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're rebranding.
Shit.
We don't have to do that.
Shit. All right.
The fresh coat of paint.
Farmcast for a new hip generation.
Yep.
And also the old ones that everybody who was listening. Welcome back.
Yeah. A Farmcast for everyone. All inclusive. But thank you.
Your grandpa's Farmcast, that's for sure.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Farmcast, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.